Hello, everyone, and welcome into BTB Now. It is June 11th, 2018. I'm Ray Dunn, joined this week instead of by Nick Bogatis. It's Jason Cantor. We can't team together on the same schedule.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. I think the last one you've been on was in March, if I remember correctly. But regardless,
Wow.
no
That might
harm.
be true.
Typically, when it's not football season, I like to throw it to Nick Bogatis to talk about his life. Unfortunately, he's not with us right now. So,
But
Jason, you finally have something interesting in your life to talk about. So,
uh,
I am going to throw this to you. Please enlighten us on how meeting Tim Tebow went.
okay. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, I believe, will be in Reading at some point again this season, and they'll definitely be in Trenton again at some point this season. So my voyage isn't over. What you hear right now, hopefully, will not be my lasting memories. But so me and Bogatis decided, and I don't know why no one else wanted to, but me and Bogatis decided to make the take the voyage to Trenton and see the Binghamton Rumble Ponies, Tim Tebow, play the Thunder. And so, as most normal human beings would do, I wanted to try to graph Tebow, get him to sign. I actually conveniently had this on my bed, get him to sign this.
Mm-hmm.
And so we bought. You would be amazed at how like minor league parks can sell out based on just one small commodity. Like I believe I bought the tickets last Saturday, and then by Friday they were sold out. Like a minor league baseball game sold out. So we had pretty good seats, but they were like right behind home plate. And so when we got in right when the gates opened, and Nick was just laughing at me. I went straight down the line to try to get in good graphing position. And I almost said Nazi. I was going to say Nazi ushers. Ushers came down and said, I guess because of
It doesn't make it any better whether you say I was going to say it and then actually say it.
But they kind of were.
No, you can't just compare it. Oh God.
Whatever. I guess they had a right to, but they were still being a little rough. So they said you can't be here, regardless of if it's an hour before first pitch. You can't be here unless you have a ticket. So I'm like, all right, busted. I left. And then I said, there's no way they're actually going to be this diligent checking on this. So I just went in like a section over where an usher wasn't checking. Got down again, stood there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and Nick had texted me because he was watching from afar, and he texted me like, just a heads up, like that guy's boss is coming around to make sure that everyone has tickets. So sure enough, he came around, didn't have a ticket, so he kicked me out again. And at this point, it's probably like 6:20. First pitch is 7, and I'm starting to panic. So I realized this is like something I've always thought about doing, but had never actually done. So our seats behind home plate were 110. The section I needed to get to the graph was.
Wait. I'm required to say this. That if you are an usher, stop listening. Okay, go.
So
also, Bergsbell Sports and BDK Media LLC are not liable for any of the actions done by Jason Cantor on his own independent doings without the permission, therefore allotted by me. Go right ahead.
It was known and ahead of time by Nick. I'm not sure what kind of liability that gives us, but that's two. That's 2 out of 3. That's 2 out of 3. I think we're liable, but so our seats were 110, and the sections I needed to get to for graphing were like 120 or 121. Like pretty much the aisle between was where I needed to be standing. So I go again, and I go back to Nick, and I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like I can't. They're being mean. So I realize we have the tickets on our phone, and if I'm gonna try to pull up these tickets here, the backdrop on the tickets was white. So being the genius that I am, this is actually if I had, spoiler, I didn't get the graph, but if I had, this would have been the my greatest accomplishment. So as you can see here, where are we at? as you can see here, the backdrop on the ticket is white. So I drew over the 110 in white. It's white enough, you'd be surprised. I drew over the 110 in white, chose the big text filter on Snapchat, wrote in 120, shrunk it to about the size of the rest of the ticket, went back, showed the usher, the same usher who kicked me out, and I showed him the actual ticket, the correct ticket this time, and he looks at me. He's like, "Oh, so you just changed seats?" Literally, it was a 5-minute time difference, and I pointed at Nick. I'm like, "Yeah, he was sitting here, and we just swapped tickets." Believe me, I guess he didn't really have a choice. But I can't tell if you're laughing or just face palming in shame.
I don't know what to think. I don't even know what to think.
But the fact that this worked, so I get down, so like he accepts it. So I'm standing there for another 20 minutes. I'm good, and a different usher comes down again. It may have been the guy's boss. I'm not sure, but he's like, again, just making sure everyone here has tickets. So I show him what I just put up was the real ticket. This is the fake ticket.
Yeah.
So you can tell the difference, right? The font's less blurry. So I show the usher my phone, thinking like, okay, if he zooms in on this, I'm burnt. He zooms in on it, but doesn't think I photoshopped a section. He thinks I photoshopped the date. So he zooms in on it like this, making sure the date actually says June 8th, and never even looks at the section. And he's like, as he didn't believe me, he zooms in on it. He's like, "Oh, wow. Okay, you're good." And gives my phone right back to me.
I don't know.
Which again, if I had succeeded and gotten this graph, that would have been the greatest accomplishment of my life, bar none. But I didn't. Tebow came out, started signing down the line, and got to about 5 feet from me. I'm literally, if you can, my computer, hypothetically, my computer is Tim Tebow. That's how close I was. And he stopped at the person right in front of me, like 2 people next to me. And apparently they were like showing him signing down the line on the big screen when it happened. And Nick was looking, and I was on the verge of tears. And it took me about 2 or 3 full innings to really recover from that heartbreak. I still haven't fully recovered. The image has replayed in my mind a couple times of just having him, of being face to face with him and not getting it. But I'm going to keep trying.
Wow.
It's about grit.
I mean, so just processing all that right now. Because
and he hit a double in the game, by the way.
Of course. Because I was on Friday night at the Kendrick Lamar concert, so I wasn't paying attention to my phone.
Yeah.
I got plenty of messages to keep me busy afterwards, but I didn't really get the full story. So now hearing this in full, you definitely deserve the graph for the effort. But I'm wondering if the usher and Tebow were in cahoots to not get you the graph.
If that was the case, I think if the usher was in cahoots, he would have zoomed in on the section.
No. He wanted to give you the glimmer of hope and then take the dream away.
But see, that's plausible. But I think in a long time, not within the next couple weeks. Like my boss asked me this morning if I got it, and I wanted to cry. I was scrolling through Facebook the other day, and there was someone randomly posted about him, and it my heart sank.
Mm-hmm.
I was bracing for it while going into work this morning, but yesterday was just rude and unexpected. But I think in a while, when I'm looking back on this, even if I never do get it again, I got that close to him. Because what I was saying to Nick, what I compared it, which I wouldn't know this recently because it didn't happen, but I would compare it to losing a Super Bowl. If you lose in a division round, you're fine, right? It sucks, but you'll get over it. But if you're the Buffalo Bills and you miss a 40-something yard field goal that would have won you the Super Bowl, you don't recover from that. And I forget what that kicker's name was, but that was me. So I'll always have the Bills have those memories. The Bills celebrate those 4 straight Super Bowls because it was a hell of an accomplishment. But there will always be that glimmer of could have done more.
Yeah, I feel like losing. So you were the next person in line.
It was like a whole cluster of people. I don't know. It was anywhere between like 1 and 3. You know, like it's just like a huge cluster of people just reaching out with a pen and whatever they had. Like I could have touched him if I was like that level of creepy. That's how close he was.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think you definitely deserved it. Honestly, I really want to, like, make fun of you and say, like, you didn't do everything in your power and find something wrong with this. Honestly, it's just hysterical that it happened to you.
Yeah.
Just you being you. So I'm enjoying this. So
it's based on everything that's happened to me, especially with Tebow over the last year. It's one of the more on brand things that could have happened to me.
Was there at any point where he looked up and you made eye contact?
I think. Again, the whole moment is such a blur. The whole moment is such a blur, but I'm pretty sure I made eye contact with him. And I also, a lot of things in the back of my mind, like if I had shaved, which I had time, I was just stupid and I didn't do it. Does making myself look 2 or 3 years younger make a difference? And I'll never know. Well, hopefully I will know, because I think and hope there will be another chance, but who knows?
Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much all I got for you in that. I don't think looking younger I think he recognized the profile picture, and all these years later, he just doesn't want you to. I
think my profile picture at the time was me Tebowing. So
yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think he recognized the offense you had made to his brand, with somebody Tebowing talking about what you were talking about, and then.
Which I need to see, by the way, I need to see when exactly that tweet was, because College World Series is coming up, which means it's probably about the 1-year anniversary of the tweet that got me blocked, because it was surrounding the College World Series.
All right. Yeah, so that's all I got for you on that. Best of luck on your endeavors. That made for a great story. I'm hoping for more prime content the next time you chase him.
So am I. I'm hoping I'm actually more willing to tell the story.
It's a shame we couldn't get the third party, Nick, to discuss, but
because I was telling Addison, he came and Nick corrected some errors, some spots that I missed, but I'm pretty sure I got everything there. I don't think I missed anything. I'm not sure if you remember at the point where huge MLB fan had his Twitter profile as Peter Alonso Future GOAT, but as a small bit of compensation, I did get a picture with Peter Alonso, which side note on him, the Mets just called up Dom Smith. I'm pretty sure he sucks. I think Alonso is their future first baseman. It's going to be hard to hate him, because there were about 50 people outside of the stadium after the game waiting for Tebow. And Peter Alonso is like big enough and well known enough amongst that community where like everyone had something for him to sign, or everyone wanted a picture. And he signed and took a picture with every single person. And he was like talking to people. Like this one girl had like a card, and she's like, "Is this you?" She couldn't have been more than like 7. And he was like, not in like a jerk way, but like in a really nice way. He's like, "Does it look like me?" And he, really awesome guy. And it sucks that he's in the Mets organization. But
sorry. Speaking of which, I heard it's Ty Kelly season.
Yes. So the Mets cut Agon last night. Mets cut Agon, and I forget, they haven't cut Jose Reyes yet, which is laughable. But they cut Agon, they got rid of someone else, or they optioned someone else, I forget who, and they cut up Dominic Smith instead of Peter Alonso and Ty Kelly.
How close are we to Tebow?
I think I was talking to Nick about this. I don't know what his contract is, but in all likelihood, if Tebow is playing for them, if Tebow wants to be in that organization next year too, what will probably happen is that he'll spend the rest of this year at Double-A, the next year in Vegas, or he gets called up to Vegas probably within the next few weeks and spends the rest of the season there. Then who knows about next year? And depending on how badly the Mets fall out of contention, end of September, you could always see a scenario where there's a guy who they can put on the 60-day DL, which frees up a 40-man roster spot, and then in comes Tim Tebow to Flushing for the last week of September to get some attendance for the Mets, what would be an otherwise meaningless game. I think we'll see him at some point.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited for that. I might make the trip.
I'm here.
I would consider it. Nick, perfect timing.
Wait, not perfect timing because my camera is not being found right now. One moment, please.
Okay. As he figures that out, I think we beat the Tebow story to death.
Yeah. I think if he goes back and listens, he'll be, because I was telling it the other day, he found some missing parts. I think I hit everything there.
Okay, good way to plan.
Yeah.
So now I got to tell you about my night because I was fully prepared to talk all sports with you guys aside from the Tebow story. I wanted to hear the Tebow story.
Yeah.
But our very own intern had a brutal evening. And it was really just a run-of-the-mill Monday night where we all thought collectively that his phone was lost. Happens a few times, it's always been recovered. This time, though, no matter how many times we called or find my iPhone, it was not in the house. And then we looked and Ellen found my iPhone, and it was behind our house on the trail behind our house. So immediately it was like, all right, that's weird. Like he hasn't been on the trail back there. So then the phone starts to move. The phone starts like moving down the trail. At which point, become kind of curious because the running theory had been that it was left somewhere within the house. Obviously, Intern was not running down the trail. Intern was out playing soccer.
Okay, I'm here.
Nice to see you.
All right.
I can't see you. Oh, now I can. There we go.
You can.
So the phone keeps moving around, and then it like kind of stops for a little bit. My dad goes, makes a search, drives around near where he thinks it is, drives the wrong place, couldn't find it. We then drive down towards the trail. I start walking around the trail looking for it on the ground, like maybe someone like took it, realized we were calling and dropped it. Like I don't want to be responsible for whatever happens with this phone. But then as I'm looking around, I've got mom in the car waiting. I look down and the phone's moving. And this phone isn't just moving a bit. This phone is moving, like whoever has it is hauling. We get in the car and no one's going to get the place references. So we drive through our town.
Mm-hmm.
Royersford.
No, not Royersford.
Oaks.
We get through Oaks into a little smaller, even smaller town that connects Oaks and Phoenixville. Get through Phoenixville.
Ironic that you were going to Phoenixville. Visit your mentor, I suppose.
We're driving through Phoenixville, and Phoenixville, for literally everyone watching that doesn't know, Phoenixville, there's a bridge, and once you get across that bridge, it becomes much more difficult because then there's lights at every street, for like 6 streets, and then there's also just a lot of traffic, a lot of moving parts.
Okay, so wait, that phone was moving so much that it went from your backyard to Phoenixville. I just want to get this clear.
We're gonna explain how it gets.
Wait, hold up. Quick question to clarify before we go on. And it hadn't moved beforehand.
No,
It had been sitting in the backyard supposedly.
No. The operating theory was that it was somewhere lost within the house. And then we went to find my iPhone, we pinged it, and then realized that the phone was not in the house. It was, in fact, moving up along the trail behind our house.
So it was moving the entire time.
Okay.
So we're traveling through Phoenixville, and the phone does not update as fast as the car moves at some points. So we veer off into a parking lot, and then all of a sudden we get past where it says the phone is, and I give the phone a call because there was a biker along the side of the road, and it was a shot in the dark for me. It was like, well, if this biker reaches into their pocket, pulls out a phone, we know it's the biker that has it.
Question. Are we talking like biker, like motorcycle biker, or like a cyclist?
Like person on bike.
Okay, because I hate those people.
Someone on a bicycle.
Cyclists. They are the worst people in the world.
Now, bear with me here, because this cyclist is, I would say, a lady maybe in her 40s-ish. I would
Never ask a woman's age.
In great physical shape because she was moving very fast with this phone. But she pulls out the phone, and we could see her pull out the phone and start to try and answer it. And at which point, I'm like, what? So we continue to follow her, and then on a road in which you merge onto another road, we come to a dead stop next to this woman on the bicycle. And how do you approach someone with accusing them of taking a phone? Is really the scenario we were left with. Roll down the window. My mom takes the point on this one, a little good cop, bad cop kind of deal. I would say my mom is definitely the bad cop in this scenario. Excuse me, ma'am. Did you find a phone? I mean, while the phone is in her hand and she's stopped, and she spins it around on us. Like, what's it to you?
Mister, what's it to you?
At which point, we're floored because we saw you answer the phone we're calling. And me, we can edit this part out, but I'm going to say this was all on accident, but it ended up being the smartest thing I did. I called the phone again, accidentally, but really on purpose because it was really smart, because then the phone started ringing in her hand. And it was like, we know that's our phone. And she said that she picks up, when she sees the phone, she picks them up to protect the people's information.
I love this woman.
Now, mind you, this phone, for those that didn't see the Twitter picture, it is destroyed. It is absolutely 100% a goner. It's somehow.
Oh, okay. I was picturing her doing that to the phone after you.
No. She pulls it out, and we can see that it is just shattered. It's been run over probably like 6 times while it was sitting on the side of a road that she picked it up on.
No, wait. You said she answered. Did she? She answered the phone when you called it?
She tried to answer the phone because the phone's still ringing. The phone still lights up, but you cannot see anything on the screen.
I was going to say, okay.
She was trying to answer, but to no avail.
Yeah.
So apparently, this is now the running theory on how this happened to Intern, is that the phone was placed on top of the car prior to him being driven to soccer. The phone fell off.
That's fantastic.
Was probably run over numerous times. This lady then finds it, starts biking on back to wherever she's from. I spend a good amount of time in the woods behind the trail searching for this while Intern's at soccer. Realize that the phone is hardcore on the move. We trace down this lady who's an incredible biker. Yell a window to her. Recollect the phone. And now it's in Intern's possession. They're trying to get everything off of it. And in the process of trying to get everything off it, he checks his email on his computer and finds out the Woj account has now been rejected for its request to be reopened. And now, so there's that. Now he has no phone, no Woj, and probably a bunch of burner accounts that he doesn't know the password to that we don't know if we'll ever get back into.
The heart.
That was mine. And then I went shopping to get graduation stuff like I was supposed to 2 hours before that.
By the way, Eric Kratz did another home run.
Yes, I did see that.
So yeah, what takes from me did you need?
I think you're the only anti-Capitals person I know, so that might be a good take.
Yeah, I mean, I said this a multitude of times over the weekend, but I am not happy. Like, we went through this with Super Bowl. I'm not happy for the Capitals. I'm not happy for Ovi. Like, oh, like this feels so great that he finally got one. You know, all that. Like, I hate the team. I wouldn't say I hate Ovi necessarily, but he's on the team and I hate them. So, but what Capitals fans are going through right now and what Ovi's displaying and what the Capitals are displaying is normally, generally, what I love about sports. And that's why I hate certain people that try to devolve sports into a spreadsheet and just numbers, because there are real emotions behind it, and it means a lot to a lot of people. So there's that. I do still hate the Capitals, though.
I just think it's funny that because Daryl Morey uses a unique technique that rhymes to select his players, that means that he hates fun. I like that method of putting two.
No. Not like Daryl. I'm not like all analytics people, but people that that just see sports as numbers and analysis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know Gabe Kapler personally, but if that's all he sees baseball as, then
here's a little tip. Here's a little tip. You've never heard Gabe Kapler talk.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's not true. I heard him talk about coconut oil.
You didn't hear him talk about that because it was a blog he wrote like 5 years ago.
Okay. Well, I read it in his voice, so.
You haven't. Gabe Kapler actually, like, I would 10 times out of 10 like go out and have dinner with Gabe Kapler. He seems like a very like fun person. I was trying to target huge MLB fan here, but forget it. Target huge MLB fan.
Okay.
He's not Gabe Kapler is a much more personable guy than huge MLB fan.
Not once did I bring up Gabe Kapler? No, I did not. You brought up Gabe Kapler. You brought up Daryl Morey, and you brought up Gabe Kapler. So
I brought up Daryl Morey. I think you brought up Gabe Kapler.
Okay, I
missed having the two of you on at the same time.
Whatever. I was trying to say huge MLB fan because he sucks the fun out of everything, even though he's a parody account on Twitter.com, which makes zero sense to me. Like, imagine DeBundo running a SpongeBob fan account, and yeah, just imagine DeBundo running a SpongeBob fan account and nothing changing ever.
Yeah. Oh. There's a slightly different sense of humor, but that's not terrible. And Anthony wouldn't understand drill. Like, huge MLB fan thinks some things are funny. Anthony thinks everything that anyone laughs at is immature.
Unless he makes the joke.
Yes.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Who else should I go after?
You can go after Ray, whose fantasy team is really, really in a downward slide. Let's go through.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. Why are we not talking about how well I'm doing, though? That's what I want to know.
Because I'm doing better.
Okay, but you do this for a living.
Wait.
Ray, have you met Mark Cantor?
No, I have not. I've only been exposed to pretty much.
Well, I've met Mark Cantor.
You met bowling Mark Cantor. I don't think you've met AL baseball Mark Cantor.
Oh, I met AL baseball Mark Cantor. And because I've met AL baseball Mark Cantor, this is not an accomplishment, okay? We should be talking about you doing well in this league if you were
Okay.
I don't know if there's a thing above first place, but you should be there.
Here's a little something right now. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, or
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Are we just counting here?
Guess what that number represents?
How many losses Ray has in one
The amount of NL players on my team.
Oh.
That is not influenced by my father.
Okay, but no, you just watch baseball religiously. So like
I do.
I think we should talk
Literally,
about
you don't understand.
How good I am, how good I'm doing relative to huge MLB fan.
Literally, that should be noted.
That should be a topic of conversation.
Literally a week ago, my dad and I were like look, because there was like a Monday where no one was playing. And it was like, damn, there's only 4 games. And my dad's like, yeah, and 3 of them ran out. So that's not.
No,
he doesn't acknowledge the National League.
That's not what you missed the entire point of what I said.
That's fair. I'm trying to make myself look better.
I'm just talking about baseball. Okay, you watch baseball religiously. You should be doing well at fantasy baseball. As a result, I do not watch baseball religiously. I hardly watch baseball at all, and somehow I'm going to be in a playoff spot by the end of the year. I think we should talk about this. Also, there was a poll run preseason asking if I would get 1 or 2 or more wins throughout the season. So I think we should be discussing that.
See, here's the deal.
And we should be. By the way, Ray, you are not letting you get off the hook here. Ray,
no, I'm here to address. I'm here to address what's gone wrong.
Since Ray beat Nick on May 13th, that is Ray's last win. Ray beat Nick 7-3.
May 13th was a very unlucky day for me too. Yeah. So
since then, Ray lost 7-3 to Tyler, lost 8-4 to David Maniloff, lost 8-4 to Huge MLB.
I have a bone to pick with David Maniloff.
Let's hear that. Lost 8-2 to Danny Roth, who doesn't check his team and is rostering Alex Cobb. And actually, currently, we are about 2.5 hours into the first Monday of the season, and he's already losing 5-1.
It's all
first day of the week.
I'm not here to hide. I'm not going to shy away from the fact my team's done terrible. It's unfortunate. This team was built around a slugger who decided this year they weren't going to be good. And
but you should know who Mike Stanton is.
The pitcher on the pitcher for the Yankees in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Yeah, and I thought I was getting Giancarlo.
Why don't you, Cantor? Why don't you load up your copy of the show there and tell me who the outfielder for the Marlins is?
He's Michael Stanton. They call him Michael in this game.
I accept full responsibility for drafting Michael Stanton. This isn't me, again, shying away from the blame here. There are going to be widespread changes to this organization.
No, you're not. You are shying away from blame because you said he decided not to show up.
Yeah, and I decided.
Blaming one player. You know, my big slugger hasn't played in a month.
Also, Didi's been sucking for me, but you don't see me crying about it.
Stop it. If you drafted Didi Gregorius expecting what he did at the beginning of the season, you obviously do not watch baseball.
I didn't. So, what's your point?
My point was that I expected something out of Stanton that I'm not getting, and that's
okay. So that's
That's my bad.
Yeah,
I'm not here to say
maybe you should watch less baseball.
My team stinks. I am not good right now. There is no. I can't bring any facts to you that show that I am good. Where are the roto standings? Because I want to go see how far.
No, we're not looking at the roto standings. Because every time I drop in the roto standings, David Maniloff has to tweet #regression to the mean. I care about his stupid nerd math.
Okay, you want to talk about Mark Cantor? How do you think my AL league works? That is strictly roto.
Yeah, okay.
So dumb.
As bad as I've been, I am still 5th in the roto stand.
Okay, but that means nothing.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because here's what you don't understand about roto. Here's what you
Maniloff doesn't tweet a hashtag.
Shut
up. No, all that means for you, Ray, is that David Maniloff doesn't tweet.
Go ahead, Jason.
Well, if D and
what do you?
I'm gonna. Well, I have to keep doing that if you're gonna keep interrupting me. If Didi Gregorius hits 1,000 for 3 weeks, which he pretty much did, and then he hits 200 for the next 5, which he's pretty much done, obviously to a larger scale, those 3 weeks, they're done after they happen. But if you're playing Roto and in these Roto standings, you'll always have credit for what DD did, and that will always help you. Because like when I played Huge MLB Fan, we both probably would have beaten every single team in the league that week at least 8-4. But I lost 7-5, and he only got 7 wins because we played each other. We both went up like 15 points in Roto that week because we were better than everyone else. You get credit for being good. That's what it is.
Are you done?
Yes.
Very good. So yeah, I'm out on David Maniloff.
My team had the 1 week where it was incredible. My team was totally off. It was the best thing I've ever witnessed.
It was totally what?
Off.
Oh, okay.
And now my team is very much on.
Okay.
And I can't stop it.
Lucky for you, in the real world, outside of the world of any bowl and buzz and whatnot, that's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Wow, you're really flashing out here.
I'm very upset, and I have no clue why.
I mean, we're gonna start holding open auditions for spots on my team. I'll draft a kid from Little League.
I've been trying to trade with him.
I'm just looking at these Roto standings. The lowest amount I have is 8.5 points in one category. Besides that, I'm over 10 and everything.
You know what? I didn't think I could actually care less about Roto, but after that sentence, I do.
Is that because you dropped 4 points this week and regressed to the mean?
I don't even look at it. If I was regressing to the mean, I wouldn't be like a couple games out of a playoff spot.
By the way, you told me you didn't need pitching. 3 teams have worse pitching numbers than you, and they're the bottom 3 teams in the league.
Doesn't matter. I won 8-4 this week.
Okay, well, you probably had a lucky matchup.
Really?
Yeah.
I swept hitting.
Who'd you play?
I played Pete.
And he was slugging like 200 when I looked at your score on Saturday.
And that's his problem. I played to my strengths and his weaknesses.
Let's have fun with that.
My team went out there and got the job done. You know what? This league should be played wins and losses because that's how sports are played.
Well, I mean, we do play wins losses just to a more fine extent.
It's just dumb.
We do. If you look at the standings right now, the real standings, according
to Vegas,
the real standings.
If Vegas has more shots and more hits in the Stanley Cup Finals, do they win the trophy?
Did they have more shots and more hits?
I don't know. If they did, would they win the trophy?
You're killing me.
No, but the shots and hits is like homers and steals.
So shots and hits are like homers.
You
want to say that again? You want to say that again?
Well, no, because they're different things. But you're naming random stats. I'm naming random stats.
Do you want this thing to operate as
homers allocate
runs scored by your offense and runs allowed by your pitchers? Is that how you want this to work?
Sure.
Thank you. I needed some help with that.
Yeah, I his point is kind of just ill-advised.
In real fantasy sports, point values are allocated.
Real fantasy sports. That's how you know you're off your rocker when you say the words real fantasy sports.
Real fantasy sports have point values allocated to certain statistics achieved by players. And those point values are then totaled. And the player with the larger total wins that matchup. Gets a 1 in the W column, and the opponent gets a 1 in the L column.
By the way, I'm not sure if you've ever played a fantasy sport besides football, but in pretty much every other sport, the more preferred method is categories.
And that's dumb.
Because he likes football.
But that's because you, like many other people, including me, enjoy fantasy football.
I suppose you enjoy barbecue sauce on your ice cream, too.
I don't. I enjoy barbecue sauce on my ribs.
Okay.
I'm a good barbecue sauce guy.
Buffalo over.
True. Facts.
Not always.
Okay.
debatable.
That's something else tonight. All right, so Jason was not here last week while the Colangelo saga was dragging on.
Conmangelo.
Thank you.
And I was just curious if we could get a quick take out of him, and then we can kind of talk about what the fallout is for the organization.
Okay, so I think he got fired or he resigned. What was it, Thursday?
I believe so. Yeah.
So Tuesday night, I got really I forget what happened, but like I fell asleep at like 9 o'clock, woke up at 2, and went on Twitter. And that was when the reports were coming out that like the Sixers ownership had the meeting. Someone in the room was like trying to save him, and that they think they're holding on to hope that like he's innocent in all this. Yes.
Can I interrupt for some breaking news?
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman is on CNN promoting a cryptocurrency involved with medical marijuana.
I really thought you were going to say he was dead.
No.
I was scared there for a second.
He's just wearing a shirt on CNN that reads potcoin.com. I have now visited potcoin.com, and it's a cryptocurrency sponsored by Weed MD.
Yikes. Sheesh.
It's the first digital currency created to facilitate transactions within the legalized cannabis industry.
So
Potcoin is a community-based effort.
Ray, you shunned my actions at the baseball game. You're not going to shun him talking about the devil's lettuce.
No. I can tolerate this because it's Dennis Rodman. It's kind of just expected.
Look at this.
Is that a MAGA hat?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what happened tonight, right?
What happened tonight?
President Trump's
he's at that summit.
He's meeting with the Norks.
Yeah. And Rodman's probably with them.
No, Rodman's on CNN right now. Actually, no, he is in Singapore.
Yeah, Rodman's there. That's what I thought. But anyway, so so like I was seeing reports. This is like Tuesday at like 2:30 or like Wednesday morning at like 2:30 a.m. that Colangelo that like they wanted to keep him, and I just went on an all-time. I had one of those like moments where I was like confined to like no one but myself and whoever the hell was on Twitter at 2:30 a.m. and I was just ranting. It wasn't a good time. But when I woke up the next day, and instead of keeping that anger in check, I probably went on to have the biggest 24 hours on Twitter I've had. I tweeted because like a lot of people, like it was something going around Sixers Twitter that people thought like Embiid was going to request a trade, which I think he would have if they kept Colangelo. And I replied to one of his tweets about that. And apparently there were and this is the main thing that I took out of this. People were mad at me for tweeting something about like Embiid requesting a trade. Like I think there were a lot of like casual Sixers fans that didn't understand the magnitude of what he did.
I think a lot of people are mad that you tweeted in general. I feel like that's just a general thing that happens when your account pops up on Twitter.
I had a good week besides that. Did you see my reply to Woj? Well, I had told you about that a week in advance that I was going to do that.
Oh, you know what? I hadn't heard Woj's voice ever until like 2 days after Colangelo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you know what he looked like?
No, I knew what he looked like.
Because I feel like once you see what he looks like, you kind of know the voice is coming.
No, I didn't feel that way at all.
No. I don't know.
Yeah, that seems to happen to me a lot, where I like know these people forever and like don't know what they sound like, or like don't know who the voice belongs to. Like when I figured out who Gus Johnson was, that was mind blowing.
Have you ever heard Ben Revere talk?
No, I have not.
It's slightly jarring.
Or whenever Randy Moss talks, I lose sleep over that.
Horse racing or football?
No, the second Randy Moss.
Okay.
West Virginia Randy Moss. That's what throws me off. I always forget he's from West Virginia.
He is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did you not watch the 30 for 30?
No. Mr. I hate ESPN and I'm boycotting ESPN.
That was
back in the day.
That was back in the day when I didn't hate ESPN. When I consumed ESPN a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Anyway, I think the one
That was back when Sports Nation was good, and Jim Rome wasn't still around.
was Sports Nation, Colin and Michelle in those days.
Yeah.
Even
with Colin and Carissa, it was good, and even with was Michelle with someone else too?
Marcellus Wiley.
No. Once Marcellus Wiley came in, no, it went downhill. But like, I really like Michelle Beadle, but I don't like the show right now. But yeah, like Colin Cowherd. That was back in the day when I liked Colin Cowherd.
Yeah, I think a lot of people. He really ruined his reputation. But no, I think the main thing with, speaking of ruining reputations, the main takeaway with Colangelo is that family is a disgrace. And Intern and I have been discussing what we're going to do with this newfound account with like 350 retweets and I think like 70 followers. And Jerry Colangelo still works for the Sixers, which is, I think that's kind of slipped under the rug. And it was amazing that someone asked Josh Harris about it, and he pretty much said, don't talk about that today. And then people just stopped talking about it. But Jerry Colangelo, no matter what anyone says, Jerry Colangelo obviously fought for his son. He obviously told the Sixers, hey, I owe you for saving you from some guy that's 20 times smarter than me and my son combined somehow. And he's going to be doing it until the end of the year. And I don't think this is over yet. I think he's going to do something else that causes issues. What?
Update, Dennis Rodman is crying on CNN.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
I don't know if it's tears of joy or tears of sadness, but he is crying on CNN.
I don't even know.
I'm about to be crying right here. But yeah, I don't think this Jerry thing's over, and I'm kind of scared. And also, speaking of the Sixers front office, hypothetically, I now have more than just fandom invested in LeBron James to the Sixers.
Why? Why would you do that?
Oh, we'll explain. I'll explain later.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Bogas is very anti LeBron to the Sixers.
I'm so anti LeBron.
Which is, it's funny because me and Kramer were having this conversation with him Saturday, and we said, why do you hate him? And he said he's a bad person, which instantly the response to that was the response to that is obviously, you can say he's a fraud, you can say he's a baby, you can say he's a lot of things. He's a better person than all of us combined will ever be. And he has done
That's
more.
So not true.
He has done more for the betterment of our society than you or me or Ray will ever do.
You don't know what the future holds for me. I can cure cancer.
Okay, and I'm sure if you cure cancer, part of it will probably be funded by LeBron James. Part of your research to cure cancer.
No, I will not accept funds from him.
Well, then you're not curing cancer. Ray, did you start VR?
I believe breaking news. I did.
And he homered.
Yeah, good start for me.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking VR, like virtual reality, and I was waiting for him to put on the headset.
I'm actually talking with two people that are focused on the conversation. But no, just what were we talking about?
Wait, who's the second?
Yeah.
Wait, who is the second?
We were talking about LeBron being a better person than Nick will ever.
Oh yeah, well that's why
that's patently ridiculous.
I don't even want to acknowledge that. I don't even know why Bogas needs to open up his mouth when it comes to LeBron. But
no, because like I think the entertainment he serves as a basketball player outweighs the negatives that he brings. Because just like his haters who don't acknowledge the positives that come with him are ridiculous. People who love him and kiss up to him who don't acknowledge how ridiculous some of the stuff he does, they're just as crazy.
Oh, LeBron James, the general manager, is one of the worst.
But it's not just the GM. The on-court theatrics are annoying.
Chip Kelly, your city has been through this before.
What?
Chip Kelly's a good head coach. Awful GM. LeBron James is a good player. Awful GM. Awful coach. Awful leader, really. We're getting down to it.
You should tweet that out because that's a wild take.
Crazy fan takes.
Okay, here we go. Better take. LeBron is Bill Belichick.
I'll take that.
You see how that's working for the Patriots right now?
Yeah, but I'll take all the titles.
LeBron's about 30 years younger than Bill Belichick, so we get a while before this blows up in our faces.
What?
Bill Belichick.
I don't care if it blows up in our faces if we get as many titles as Bill Belichick's got with the Patriots.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. If you're comparing LeBron to Bill Belichick, then we have 30 more years until LeBron goes crazy.
I just don't enjoy watching him. And I have not once denied that he's the greatest basketball player to ever walk this earth. I just don't enjoy watching him play.
But
it's not fun for me. And and sports are supposed to be fun. And if sports aren't going to be fun, I'm not going to watch them.
See, I think the reason why, what makes sports fun, what makes sport
LeBron James is on is an interesting hill to die on.
What?
I don't want to watch basketball because LeBron James is on is an interesting hill for you to die on.
I will die on it. I will stream the Shanghai Sharks games and watch my boy Jimmer play, if that's what it takes.
Okay. I mean,
I enjoy watching him play more than I enjoy LeBron.
I can't stop you. So if that's what you want to do, we can give you your own show where you talk for 20 minutes about how Jimmer Fredette's doing in China. And
wait, speaking of really fun things that Nick hates, don't you hate watching Steph Curry too?
I hate Steph Curry
because I don't
necessarily hate.
I don't think anything is more fun than watching a game when Steph Curry is on. Game 7. Game 7 against Houston, when he's off, yes. When Steph Curry went off Game 7 against Houston, and obviously he's done it so many times before, but just moments like that where you're anything can happen. Literally, he can take any shot and it's going to go in. It's incredible.
If Steph Curry embraced the villain role, I would be his biggest fan. But he tries to be this fake humble and cocky at the same time, and it just doesn't work. And you choose him a freaking off guard.
But that might just be who he is. Durant tried to embrace. That might just be who he is. Durant tried to embrace the villain role, and he's really terrible at it. And
Durant is embracing the villain role. I enjoy Kevin Durant.
Okay, well, Jesus.
No, I'm enjoying Kevin Durant's little. Kevin Durant definitely said he'd retire in 5 years just to get people angry, and I think that's great.
No, I really like Kevin Durant, and I really always have. I just hate Steph Curry, and I don't know why. Klay Thompson doesn't really give me a reason to hate him, but I feel like I should hate him, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I feel like
Draymond I like.
You have to do a better job of separating personality from on-court basketball skills when you're watching.
I have not once said this is about skills. I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I feel like you'd enjoy it more if you could just separate the personalities from the actual basketball.
And in other sports, you can do that. Basketball, you can't, or not in basketball. In the NBA, you can't. Because LeBron will make an amazing play and then just stay staring up at the backboard for 30 seconds and and leave those scrubs to fend for themselves. And then he'll flop around on the floor and oh, my eye is broken and blah blah blah.
See, I don't like that. I just think it's outweighed by
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to deal with him reading The Godfather and pretending to be, way smarter than he actually is, and he's a role model, and he's got 2 kids, and you can't talk. He's got 3 kids, and you can't talk smack to him and all that. Also, interesting point here. Why is LeBron's married, right?
Yes.
Why don't we hear more from, or not necessarily hear from, not necessarily that she has to put herself into the public eye. But like the amount we see of everyone else's family, like LeBron James is the biggest talent in the NBA, and we never really see his family except for like the random highlight of his son.
We see Steph Curry's family. Do
Yeah.
we see Kevin Durant's family, or does his mom just go on TV to defend him?
His mom and
His mom
is he married? Does he have kids?
He made his mom famous. Like Kevin Durant put his mom on the map.
But what
Yeah,
I'm saying is,
everyone knows about LeBron's mom too.
Steph Curry.
yeah, Delonte West. I'm just saying his.
No, but not just that. Not just that.
But I'm saying if his wife and kids are so important to him, why don't we ever see them? Except
Because
like,
of that, I think if they're important to you, you would more shield them. I wouldn't
then
want.
why would he name his son LeBron?
I wouldn't want my kids and my wife out in the public eye if literally half of the basketball fan population hates me and wants to destroy me for everything that I'm worth.
Yeah, so why you name your kid after yourself? Painting a target on his back if you
Ask
ask me.
my dad and ask his dad and ask the guy before that. I'm a fifth. I mean, I don't know.
Are you really?
I don't have the same middle name, so I don't get the cool little.
Oh, okay. The
Look.
V.
But
You could be RDV.
yeah, I could be.
You could.
Okay, wait.
be
I'm going through like superstars right now. Dwayne Wade, you know Gabrielle Union because because she's Gabrielle Union.
We knew Vanessa Bryant.
I didn't.
I did.
Kawhi.
We know the
Kawhi's a
Kardashians.
different type of.
We know. Well, didn't we kind of hear from Kawhi's dad before he passed?
I don't know. How about James Harden? You know anything about his family? Because I
feel
don't.
like we know his girlfriend, but I don't pay attention to the NBA.
No, you know.
Why is
Giannis.
this an issue for you then?
Giannis, we know his whole family.
You choose not to watch the
Nazis,
NBA.
Costa,
You don't know anything going on in the NBA. You're
Anthony.
trying so hard to find something that you don't like about LeBron. It's actually laughable.
I've told you all the things I don't like about LeBron.
Do you know? Wait, do we know Chris Paul's family? Out of curiosity.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
He's pretty sure
seen
that
his
we
kids.
do because it kind of helps the fragile argument that's holding by a thread. Right
I mean,
now.
I was just asking a question. It wasn't a point that I was making.
Ooh, let's see who else here. Yeah, you're.
Welcome to BTB Now. We're going through how famous everyone's family is because it's entirely relevant to the NBA.
Mark Cantor's pretty famous.
Very.
All right.
Do we want to wrap this up by making Nick look even more? Oh wait, you already talked about the Capitals.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I don't think I come away looking dumb from that or bitter or anything.
Well, that's in your light.
I mean, they won the cup. It's not like I'm taking anything away from it. I mean, they did.
I just
beat the expansion team. Other than that, and
Did you see Keith Olbermann actually tweet that this morning?
Keith Olbermann is such a moron. And I mean, they did face Fleury in the cup final, so collapsing Fleury in the playoffs, nothing new there.
Well, yeah, but collapsing Fleury was always a thing in like the first round, like the first couple rounds.
Yeah, that's why I was so genuinely surprised. But like he does, he choked again. So he hasn't stopped choking since 2009.
I don't think he won the cup last year without him.
I mean, he won the first round.
And like the first 2 or 3 games of the second. Did he not?
Okay, but it was the Capitals, so it didn't matter.
It was still the series still went 7.
Yeah, but you know.
It doesn't matter. The Capitals don't matter because we always beat them, he says, right after we discuss the Capitals Stanley Cup, which they got to by beating the Penguins.
2016 was a weird year, man.
All right.
We are at the hour mark.
Yeah. And
you're not at the hour mark with me, though.
Yeah, well.
I would say about 15 minutes of content left in this. If that. I want to talk about the fallout for the Sixers, but it appears that LeBron James' family took priority.
Well, hey, if we've learned anything about LeBron, he's not making a decision for another month. We got time.
Oh, we got
No. That's so not true. He's made the decision already. He won't be announcing it for another month.
I don't think he's made it yet.
Also, free agency doesn't start till July anyway, right?
Yeah, July 1st.
Is it?
It's the same as the NHL.
Yeah.
When John Tavares will be joining the Pittsburgh Penguins. If you don't think that that's happening, you're out of your mind.
Okay.
I will be the first to admit all the mistakes the Penguins made this year, but they will be getting John Tavares, and you should be excited too because the Flyers are getting Vitaly Kravtsov, hopefully with their lottery pick.
As long as they don't get Vitaly Kravtsov.
All right. What else do we have for you? Oh, the Phillies are bad again.
Oh God.
And last week we couldn't get you to talk about it because you weren't here, but they're bad again. Discuss.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even. The offense is a whole other. I was having actually at your grad party. I was having this conversation about Santana because I was one of those people. I never understood the signing from the beginning, and then after it happened,
how does Carlos Santana not walk up to Smooth? That's what I want to know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I was never a big Santana guy.
But I grew on him after the signing. I grew on him like as the offseason went on. I still like him, but the fact of the matter is, especially, it's one thing if you're just going to make Altera fourth outfielder because Nick Williams is undeniably better than him. But if Santana's presence makes Nick Williams lose at bats, which right now it is, I don't really like that.
Yeah, well, that was what I didn't like from the beginning. I thought finally Hoskins was cleared to be the everyday first baseman, and then you had your three outfielders. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden Santana's in the mix, and let me see what's he hitting right? 221 right now.
Yeah. For the record, I don't. Sorry, what?
The on base percentage was there for him.
Yeah.
For a while, but I don't understand the purpose behind that signing, and I mean, I didn't think it got you any more benefits than.
He's a good bat to have in the lineup, but I don't think, and I like him again. I'm a fan of him, fantasy owner. I still don't think he's laughing at something. I still don't think it's worth pushing Hoskins out to left. What's funny?
I just heard the audio of Dennis Rodman.
Oh no!
Also, Dennis Rodman's voice is pretty surprising too. I feel like he might have developed an accent in North Korea, but he was.
Are you sure? Are you sure that's just not from like 30 years of just smoking literally every day?
I'm not sure he was actually really a smoker.
I'm sure he smoked something throughout his life.
Wow. Okay. I mean, could be true. Yeah, he was just talking about like when he came home from North Korea, like the amount of death threats he got, and he couldn't even come home, but he kept his head up high and look where he brought this country, and it was very emotional. He was in tears.
He's really, really our diplomatic leader when it comes to.
Oh man,
what is America?
I need to order a Dennis Rodman jersey ASAP.
Wow, that's where we are.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back to the Phillies for the time being, because if you remember the Hoskins hot start as far back as it was, at one point, what was it? 3-something ridiculous?
Yeah, and he had like a 450 on base.
Yeah, he's currently down to a 235 with a 359.
Just still good. The on base. The on base.
Yeah, the on base, but the average, no. Odubel, who was at like 348.
Jeez, he's at what, like 290?
288.
Oh, it's gotten worse.
That future middle infield that looked so promising.
I got into some heated debates about J.P. Crawford today too.
212, Kingery. Crawford 197.
You've been on this bandwagon with me since last year that like you weren't that big of a JP Crawford guy,
No,
right?
no, I
Because
understand why he came up. I'm still confused as to why.
thank you. I was huge MLB fan was going after me today for being anti JP Crawford.
I'm not anti JP Crawford. I'm anti him coming. Like, of all the people that the Phillies have rushed through the years, or that they haven't rushed, for them to rush JP Crawford was kind of ridiculous.
It's fair, yeah.
Like, I mean,
look, okay, I'm not as big of a Freddie Galvis guy as I am. I'm not going to you. You literally can't knock that trade because I think De Los Santos is going to be a good rotation piece. But I don't know.
that was confusing.
Also, rushing Kingery is gonna is worse than rushing Crawford because like Kingery actually needs more time in the minors.
Oh, absolutely. But we see where we're at. I think the Phillies got so into the idea that they could compete this year that a lot of the younger pieces that would probably be going back down, they're just trying to wait out, and it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Andrew Knapp still being a thing.
Yeah,
Andrew Knapp? What?
Hitting 162.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Give me more of that.
The slugging is probably about the same. He's had a rough go of it.
Yeah, his slugging is 189.
Whew.
When I was at the Phillies Orioles game in Baltimore, he started, which that pissed me off about. That was one of the things that Kapler's done this year that pissed me off. He had his lineups already plotted out for both days of that 2-game series, but the first game got rained out. And Knapp was he had Knapp slated to start the second game because it was a night game than a day game. And despite the fact that it would have been better for the Phillies if Jorge Alfaro started the day game because the night game had gotten washed out, he stuck with his original lineup and kept Andrew Knapp.
Yeah, just continuing to go off on players that have underperformed because it's pretty much the entire lineup. Altair 189, and for as great as Cesar had been as a leadoff guy, and I think 265. Now the on-base percentage is there with
his average. I think his average is always. I don't think his average ever got above like 280. Because I remember, like at the height of my beat the streak, 22-game streak, I picked him. Thank you. I got close to picking him a couple times, and I/intern talked myself out of it because he walked so much. Like his on base was always close to around 400, but the batting average itself was never above like 280.
His batting average, you mean this year?
This year.
Okay, yeah, no. I'm just saying he's underperformed to expectations.
I still don't think so. I think he's been good.
The power's there, which is something I didn't expect from him.
The power and he's got what, like a 390 on base?
He's got a 378, so 380.
Okay. And that probably wasn't like 390 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and the average though is like 30 points lower than what it is. What it has
again,
been.
when you're hitting leadoff, especially when your 8-9 hitters are Jorge Alfaro and the pitcher, because Jorge Alfaro is kind of the on base is going to be there for Jorge Alfaro, so you're not going to have that many chances to drive him in, even though he'll get you some extra base hits and knock guys in himself. Getting on base matters. Like if you take a walk and a single is the same thing. I don't mind having a 260 average if you're going to be at 390. Personally.
Fair enough. I would like to see him hit the ball a little more often. I'm more of the thought that the hitting it would get you around faster. But hey, that's.
I think when you're a 3-hitter, yes, not when you're leading off.
Alfaro at 253 is a welcome sight, to be honest. For
he's
where
probably,
he was.
I think he's the one guy who's been at about expect. I think the defense is probably exceeded because the offense he's at. He's probably still striking out about 40%, but he's so strong that like you get a lot of nerds that will shout out Nick. A lot of nerds that will tell you that like when a guy starts off hot, people were doing this with Judge last year. They're like, oh, like things aren't sustainable because the guy has an insanely high BABIP. But the thing about BABIP is that guys who are strong hit the ball harder, and thus their BABIP will be higher. And Jorge Alfaro might be one of the 10 strongest guys in baseball. So I think as long as he
defensively, you just have to play him regardless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you take out, I think there's still some problems in terms of blocking pitches, and the pitch framing's gotten much better, but you see some occasional issues. But the arm is probably, I mean, it's prime Yadier Molina-esque right now.
Yeah. All right. So the Phillies, 3 games at home against the Rockies, and then 3 games in Milwaukee. They currently sit 3 games above 500. When do they hit the 500 mark?
They're playing they're playing the Rockies. Who do they play this weekend?
Brewers.
Oh, they'll hit 500 sometime in the Milwaukee series.
If you follow Cato Kalin, the Brewers are cute.
Yeah.
Which seriously misguided me this past weekend.
Did you actually think the Brewers are bad because you follow Cato Kalin on Twitter?
Yes. The answer to that question is yes. Silence.
Oh.
Yes.
Fun fact, we were driving to the game on Saturday, and he said, "Ooh, Phillies -1.5." Hypothetically, of course, is plus something. And I said, and I don't know about that. The Brewers are good, and the Phillies have been struggling. And I was driving, so I couldn't text my opinion. So when he texted Kremer to say, "Hey, Phillies run line," Kremer said, "Yeah, go for it." I wasn't able to text and object, so So hypothetically, Phillies run line didn't really work out.
You were in the car, hypothetically.
Yeah, and I said, I 1,000% told you, I don't know about that. They haven't been playing that well, and the Brewers are good. And you were well aware of the fact that they lost 12-4 the night before. That you did.
Yes, that's true. However, did Cantor tell you the story of what happened during the Brewers game?
With what?
Oh, you know what.
Oh, G-Man Choi.
Yes.
Okay. So, did you see G-Man?
As we were walking to our seats, Hoskins homered, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the Phillies looked like they were going to cruise. And
they never looked like they were going to cruise.
They looked like they were going to cruise.
They never looked like they were going to cruise.
And then all of a sudden the bases were loaded and Luis Garcia came in. And what did Cantor say with the bases loaded?
Okay.
And there were 2 outs, correct? 2 outs?
I don't
yes,
know.
There were 2 outs. I was watching.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, and G-Man Choi at the plate. Cantor said something.
Something along the lines of, "Oh my God."
Something along the lines of, "Wow, G-Man Choi is really about to hit a grand slam right
That's not what I said. I would.
And what happened? And what happened? Tell me what happened, Cantor.
G-Man Choi the grand slam.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So for a little bit more context here, I owned G-Man Choi in my AL league 2 years ago. So knowing who G-Man Choi is, I'm like, oh my God.
And then he gets traded the next day.
There's no way G-Man Choi hits a grand slam here. And G-Man Choi the grand slam.
Nice. Good work.
I can't believe we got traded the next day.
It was funny though, because I said
value.
But they still, it's so funny because Brad Miller is a better baseball player than he is. The trade was Brad Miller for G-Man Choi straight up. And
also,
so
when I saw Brad Miller, I thought had been Brad Miller.
Oh God. So I saw that trade and huge MLB fan and I were texting and I was like, did the Rays get cash for that? Because Brad Miller's a better player than G-Man Choi. He's like, I don't know. And then I got the notification for it and the Rays gave the Brewers cash to take Brad Miller in exchange for G-Man Choi. So that says all you need to know. Yeah, they're not too good. But yeah, I'm not, and this is a question I actually just thought of. Assume Arrieta, Nola, and I guess Pivetta too, but who are the Phillies' 5 starters on August 1st?
Well, you just named 3 of them.
It looks like they're not going to be buyers anymore.
But see, you don't know that.
Can I interest you in Ivan Nova?
No.
I want to say Cole Hamels just for the fun times.
But like that's
Well-
realistic. Because they have money to spend, and the prospect price won't be that high if they take on a good portion of that contract. And for the not buyers thing, I don't know what their July schedule looks like, but their June schedule is hard to sell. If they finish this month near 500 or slightly above it, they can set themselves up with the first 2 weeks of July to be buyers.
I don't know about that, but
Because the NL West is trash. The NL and so your competition for the wild card, if the unless of course if the Nationals and Braves both like are up like more than 5 games, then it might be a different story. But the NL West is trash. The NL Central, you're going to whoever doesn't win it out of the Cubs and Brewers, that's going to be one wild card, and then the second place finisher in the NL East is going to be another team. So if the Phillies are within 5 games of either the second place team in the NL Central or the second place team in the NL East, you 1,000% go for that.
all right. Well, here's the deal. Going back to the pitching staff, I don't think that Vince Velasquez should be in the rotation.
I don't either, and then he keeps pulling these starts out of nowhere, and it's hard to put him in the bullpen.
Because every time it looks like it's finally going to come crashing down for him, he gives you like a 7-inning, like 12 strikeout masterpiece that teases you a little bit and teases the Phillies into saying, he'll figure it out. We'll give him another few starts. And things go poorly through 4 innings, and we kind of start the cycle all over again. However, I do think Zach Eflin sticks it out. I think he's my 5th starter, and I guess whoever they trade for, because I think they're going to trade for someone, is going to be your 4th. But Pivetta is here to stay. Nola and Arrieta, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be I think there's going to be an outsider for that spot.
And do you know what Hap's contract situation is? Like, is Hap on a 1-year deal right now?
I have no idea what Hap's contract situation looks like. I bet if you asked Intern, he would
Hap
know.
as in J.A. Hap?
Yes.
Really?
He's good.
He's good
He's
again?
good. Yes.
Last I checked, he had like a 6.7 ERA.
Nope.
No.
Oh, wow. To be fair, that might have been 2014, but
yeah. What 2015 or 2016? He had like a 3.5 ERA and 20 wins.
I remember the year that wait, what was his name? Who was the Blue Jays pitcher that had like an ERA of like 16 at one point?
Ricky Romero.
Yes.
That was
I just
good.
wanted to bring that up.
Nice.
How about by the way, me playing Nick with Gabby Sanchez in MLB The Show Saturday, and then Gabby Sanchez getting a shout out the next day from an MLB random players account.
Very impressed. Fukudome, was that today?
Oh yeah,
and that was another thing. There was a guy. Was he on the Thunder or the Rumble Ponies?
I think he was on the Thunder.
He had a name like Gosuke, like he spelled it like GOS, but like with like first sound, it sounded like they were saying Kosuke, and immediately
my face lit up. I'm not gonna lie.
You think of dear old Fukudome.
Okay. Also,
We need to get him on like the road warrior.
By the way, I would. Oh yeah. Oh, talk about graphers.
I hate the graphing community now. Although some of them seem to think they're my friends, and apparently think I know a guy named Tom.
Yeah. So wait. So while I mentioned how you were just like standing on the on the concourse watching while I was doing.
I thought I was
Devo
conversing with the common man.
Yeah.
It turns out I was conversing with the common grapher, and they were psychotic. Actually, no, 3 of the 4 were actually pretty cool. They felt they knew me, which was kind of weird, and the other guy was really out there and was just very, very upset that the Thunder were so anti-grapher. He was about 42 years old and took himself way too seriously. That's what I was trying to figure out. Who takes themselves more seriously? AA ushers, AA umpires, or AA graphers? It's a very tough competition because all of them take themselves way too seriously.
I think if you're an ump, If you're an ump during the game, you kind of have to take yourself seriously.
Yeah, but like there's a degree to which like you should take yourself seriously. Like even like pro officials take themselves too seriously. You
That's
know.
fair. Yeah.
Like who's the guy in the NBA?
Joey Crawford, he's not there
No,
anymore.
no. The guy who
Oh, there's. I know who you're
I
talking about.
remember he has a name. He has the same name as an
Does?
athlete in a different sport, but he faked the jump, like that kind of thing. Anyway, but like I just thought the weirdest thing in the world was watching these graphers after the game and just like going up to a player and handing them something to sign and not saying anything. Like you're like 37 years old. I think you can like at least ask the guy or like say hi to the guy or say something and like not just like look at him and like, hey, like sign this for me. Or like the one guy, like the guy trying to get an autograph from the grounds crew and like clearly like not knowing who the players are and like not actually caring, but like just wanting to get the signatures is just bananas to me. Or like chirp, like the guy who just wants to go home and like just walks to his car and like chirping him like, oh, well, I see how it is. And like, it's just, I don't get these people.
Fair enough. Is that all we got?
I think that's all we got. But I just we were talking about Fukudome. I was at Wrigley in 2008 when he was at his height. He was gigantic in Chicago. I just wanted to bring that up. People were wearing people were wearing the headbands. They had like the Japanese headband thing. I'm not sure what it's called.
Yeah, there's a name for that, but I know what you're talking about.
People would wear those. They had like custom. They had,
do you
like,
imagine
custom
if that happened now? That would not be okay.
Probably not.
All right.
I'm thankful we got Kosuke Fukudome when we did.
Before pre-2016.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got for you. Any closing thoughts from the two of you?
I'm trying to think if there's another group I should attack.
Nope. Okay. So that's good. Thank you all for watching. I won't be back next Monday. The two of them might be back next Monday.
I think I'm going to be asleep next Monday.
I'll be here next Monday.
Okay. Nick will be here next Monday. Intern might have some technology to use next Monday. So maybe
I'll host a show with a huge MLB fan.
I was going to put this out there. Look, there's been some discussions.
When is coming back?
There's been some discussions. I forget which one. One of them said they can do. They would have been able to do this Thursday. I can't, so I'm partially responsible for this right now. But okay. I think it's going to happen.
Everyone out there should go buy Popcoin from Dennis Rodman. There's about to be a huge boom in the next couple days.
It's a pleasure as always. Have a great night. I'm done here. This has been BTB Now.